And therefore, when they're in that scene, they are my prisoner.
Yes.
They're still in danger, because I am not yet a hero. And because if I fight Ming, all my people will be killed. And so in that, it's very important. So when they came in, even Dale, I mean, she is probably going to be one of my concubines. You know, we'll put her with my women. I won't be nasty to her, but she'll become one of my ladies, one of my princes, one of my queens. So in the middle of this debate, what are you talking about, Zarkov? You know, against the Imperial fleet, and at the same time, I put my hand up Melody's ass. And she went, oh! And I went, oh! And then I continued talking to show that she was under threat. You know, so, and I went, oh, and when you see the, and then I continue talking. So in actual fact, you ain't off the hook. He is not off the hook. And then they do a fait accompli on me when Clytus comes on board. By his heroism, he converts Baron, and then we get an age. When he kills Clytus, I am in shit creek. That means now I'm going to lose my Sky City, and Ming's going to employ his forces against me. I'm going to have to fly to the far edges of the galaxy to get away from him and take my daughter. Remember my daughter at the beginning in pink, with pink wings? And take her with me. All these implications, I always say this to the director. And they're all there in the scene, and they're done quickly. These points are very quick, you know. And then he and Baron attack Clyde, which of course is very brave. And then he goes fighting on his own, gets a rocket cycle and things like that. Because he's very, very special. And it's a lovely line when I'm on Aboria and I've lost my city. And Flash suddenly comes on. You see a Flash, Gordon? What? And then I said, Gordon's alive? What? And I suddenly dropped that in, the line. What? Yeah, I'm flying here, solo, on a rocket cycle. On a Hawkman's rocket cycle. No, Hawkman's rocket cycle. Flying blind, a rocket cycle. And then I said to him, well, you know, forgive me for what? Thank you for what? Says Flash. For giving an old bird a second chance, which is a lovely line. For giving an old bird a second chance. And from then on, I'm fighting with Flash. But it is his spirit, it is his courage that directs the film, and it's Flash. I must say, comically, at the end of the film, they filmed that sequence where Ming dies. Flash now I will talk about the end. There are different ends in a minute. Anyway, where Ming dies, the rocket goes through his stomach and the green blood comes out. And they had the cameras there on this occasion, Sam, and I had all the dwarfs with me because they were big friends of mine. About 11 dwarfs were all around there. We all had cups of tea. We're pouring tea behind the camera going, ooh, that must be painful. You know, and this things, and Max is trying to act it. It's putting me off my tea. All these dwarfs going, and then he did it finally and came off, and the green blood Max said, fucking hell, Brian. I couldn't concentrate with all you fucking dwarfs drinking tea going, ooh, it must be painful. You know? So what did you know? But the end, of course, with the ring, and I said, Sam doing that lovely cry, yeah, but the end with the ring, Sam you gave me a script, and there were about 4 or 5 different endings. You know, it changed into a frog and went into a green sulfur pool. Ming went into all kinds of things, and he became embraced because he is ruled by the god Daizan. By the great god Daizan, he's ruled. And he went within himself. So there were many endings that they had thought of instead of the ring. But I think the ring is the perfect ending, that it goes into the ring. And anyway, I mean, Dino, I said, well, and which one could, with all the special effects we have now, and of course Sam looks exactly the bloody same. And the thing is, with all the special effects now, the film The Irishman and things like that, we could now do the second film, actually. We could do it with makeup and wardrobe and things, and easy on special effects. And it was going to be on Mars. And that in actual fact, I'm on Mars, and Venus imprisoned me, and in a cave. I'm in a cave, and then he rescues me, and Sam and I join forces again with Baron, and it was all set on Mars because they wanted to introduce the clay men. You know, in the early Flash Gordon, of course, they had clay men, didn't they? And they talk.
Well, you know what they're going to do? Well, for the sequel or the remake or the reboot, whatever you want to call it. It was at Fox Studios for 5 years in development. And then, of course, Disney just bought Fox. So now Disney came in and said, no, we're not going to do a live-action Flash Gordon. We're going to do an animation. So as of right now, they're going to do an animated film. We got 10 minutes left. Should we take some questions?
Yeah. God,
come on.
Hello out there.
Can we have some lights so that we can see everybody?
Ask a question.
Who was the biggest wanker on set?
Who was the biggest what? Well, who do you think? Come on. What? Did you just walk in the theater? Have you not been listening? Who do you think?
No, I was the biggest flasher on the set. I must say, I must say that Sam was very, very modest all the time, you know. But I think sexually, there's no equal to me in the universe. I mean, I can't shag any bird that moves. I was the biggest thing in the universe.
That's true.
Did that answer that?
Yeah.
Next question.
So we got to do quick answers.
Yeah, who swears more, Brian or Ted?
Say that again? What's the question?
Who swears more, Brian or Ted?
Oh man, you know what? That's a great question. Which leads me to say, you know what? Ted and Brian Blessed need to be in the same movie. I mean, seriously. Incredible competition. Yeah, that's a great, never thought about it.
I'd play him as a Yeti. And at the end of the film, I'd eat the fucker. I'd put him on a plate and eat his penis to start with, eat that fucking bear.
He's right. Next question. Come on.
Okay, next question.
It's brilliant.
Any more questions? Gary at the front.
Can you give us a quick Pavarotti?
Right, am I allowed to do what we said?
I'll do that last, shall I?
Should we do it last? Yeah, we've got a little plan.
I'll do that last. That'll bring the show to an end. So continue with another question.
Yeah, any more questions?
Oh, no. The last time I had it, of course, I was in I, Claudius, playing Augustus Caesar, the emperor. And it was Augustus who had a universal order throughout the empire that all people should remove their beards. It was Augustus Caesar, because beard was called, meant barbaric. It represented barbarism. So the Romans, and therefore I couldn't wear a beard. It was interesting that, of course, it was a great success, I, Claudius, and at the end I die, about 90 years of age. He was emperor for 50 years. And they actually said, Brian, we're going to put the camera on you, we want to see Rome die. And it's on your face, Rome dying. And we're going to have it on for 5.5 minutes. And we'll have the wind blowing behind you, the curtains, so we know it's... You see, they freeze frame, don't they? If you watch somebody dead, it's 3 or 4 seconds. They can't hold it. I said, 5.5 minutes, it can't be done. And they just say action. Go on.
Action.
And I say, and it got headlines. The Americans now are saying, Brian, it's been voted the greatest death scene of all time. Because you don't blink. I said, it can't be done. But somehow I managed to do it. And won Best Actor, of course. Therefore, ever since then, I've grown my beard back quicker. I love my beard because I can put women in it, or I can put dwarfs in it. Anyway, if I want a quick shag with a fucking centipede, I put the fucker in there.
Next question.
Next question.
Did I think it was going to be a cult classic, Flash Gordon? No. I refer to Flash Gordon and being with Brian as the triple blessing. What I mean by that is for us in the business, I think in any industry, getting hired, number one, is the first blessing. The second blessing is if your project does well. That's the second. And the third blessing is what we're talking about right now, is longevity. I mean, here we are. We filmed this 41 years ago. It was released 40 years ago. And you know, it still has, no matter what the age demographic is, it's timeless. And it's the triple blessing. It really is. It's wonderful.
It's wonderful. I mean, it was on 3 times last week on Sky Classics. You know, they put it on, and particularly now with the virus and everything else, it cheers people up. It makes people feel good that the universe has been saved, etc. And so it's put on all the time. That becomes the great classic of all time. You know. Another question, Miss Sweethearts.
Annie Hillside, if they did reboot it, would you be in it, and who would you want to play if you were?
Who's the question for?
Both of you.
Well, go ahead, Brian.
No, I didn't quite get it.
If they reboot the movie, which it won't be a reboot, it'll be, I'm sure. It's a funny, I know I'm turning this into a big deal, but with creators nowadays, they're very sensitive. Even the development of Flash Gordon at Fox for 5 years, oh, it's not a reboot, it's not a sequel, it's something special we're doing, okay? But who the hell do you think I'd be? I'd be Flash Gordon, are you kidding me?
How could you even ask that?
And I'm revolt on. I know I did fuck off in Star Wars for a while and be Boss Nass in the Phantom Menace. I'll never forget that I was at Boss Nass, 20 feet high, the king of the Gungas, the hero. The reluctant hero again. And of course, there's the Jedi and everybody else and the Queen and all that, Archer and and there's George directing the scene, and I'm 30 feet above them with a head this size as the king of the Gungans, Boss Nass, and they asked me to save the universe and fight the Emperor. And George said, God damn, Brian, this scene's fucking dull. Can you fucking do something with it? And they all embraced me. Please, said the Jedi, please, said the Queen. And I went, me, said thy kiddies. Maybe we can be friends. And George said, he said, you goddamn mad bastard, that's exactly what I wanted. And he said it cost me nearly £500,000 in special effects later on. Anyway, what was the question anyway?
You answer that, puppy. That's great.
Can I just say very quickly before the next question, right? All this remaking movies, blah blah blah, that's going on in the industry. Who just wants to leave a film like this as a classic and not bother it again? Hollywood, listen. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's great. All right, that's wonderful.
It's annoying me.
Another question, then he's going to do Pavarotti. Come on, go ahead. She wants to know if we got to meet Freddie Mercury. Did you ever get to meet?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Wow.
No, I sat with them. Yes, no, great. And I do a lot with Brian. He lives in the village next to me, saving animals and leopards and tigers. And we do conservation together. Brian May. So no, I've got a good, strong relationship with him. Sensational sound. A great artist. Wonderful orchestra. I think the romantic orchestra in that rocket, with Sam and Melody at the beginning when they're unconscious. Beautiful music, the strings and zithers, is sensational. And of course, they introduce the theme when Flash is going to be gassed. The same music comes on again. Brilliant music, brilliant.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to meet Freddie, any of them. I was in every scene. My greatest moment of the day was being able to go to the loo, seriously. I was so busy. But in the documentary we did, Life After Flash, Brian Blessed is in it, and Brian May is in it, and he talks about it in depth and detail about the whole process of doing the first, as what Brian May refers to as the first rock opera for a major motion picture. And again, Queen not only complimented the film, but Queen brought great value to it as well. Yeah.
We've got time for one more question. So who has a burning desire? Gentleman at the back there. Yeah.
Sam, Flash played the quarterback in real life. Have you ever played quarterback and are you as good as him?
Well, yes, I'm good. I'm good no matter what I do. But the being around Brian is catchy, isn't it? I played a Marine Corps American football. I was not a quarterback, but I could throw the ball pretty good. But my background in high school was football. Then I joined the military right out of high school, where I played Marine Corps football. So I tell people I've been an actor for 43 years. I've been a Marine for 47 years. That's, yeah.
By the way, I want to say, since Sam was mentioning being a Marine, because he's a real life hero, that when you look here again at me, I was, of course, I did my national service. I was in the parachute regiment, RAF. 2744376, and I did 76 parachute jumps. So yeah, that's why my right foot is just slightly off kilter. Fucking hell, we landed on concrete one day. The fucking pilot must have been boss-eyed, that guy. Anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot leave this panel without hearing somebody sing. And if you've seen me before, you'll know that I get up to some mischief on stage. So before we give them a cheer, this is going to be Christmas #1. I want to give you Brian Blessed and Laura Duff doing Nessa Dorma. You ready?
So, you started.
Yep, ready? Everybody get ready. What could possibly go wrong?
Marvellous. I want to say that Ken Branagh said to me, "You're not frightened of anything," in a sense. And then one day, there were stars in their eyes, and they said, "Would I be Pavarotti?" I said, "Christ, no." And Ken Branagh said, "See, you're scared. For the first time in your life, you are frightened." I said, "No, I'm not." When I was in Cats, the musical, Domingo said to me, the greatest singer of all time was Pavarotti. He said, Domingo said, "I am very throaty and fruity when I sing, and Carreras is cloudy. But we say maestro to Pavarotti because his voice is perfection." And I said, "It can't be repeated." Anyway, it was for charity. And they offered 50,000 quid, I don't know, 120, and it became 750,000 quid. I thought, "Oh, well, bugger it, I'll do it, And so, I'll never forget, and the makeup was wonderful, black wig, etc., and a wonderful costume, padding and everything. And I took out my kind of handkerchief and wiped my head, came through the mist, and you thought it was Pavarotti. I'll give you a little touch of it. Didn't expect this. Cielo